Bonjour, my name is Hercule Poirot. I am here at the invitation of Mademoiselle Angeline.
Ah, Detective Poirot. We have been expecting you. Please come in from this frightful cold.
Merci. I don't think I would have lasted much longer out here before turning into an icicle.
Welcome. I am Archibald Sterling, the head butler. Please accept my apologies. I have a rather pressing matter, but I will see that you are attended.
Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. I am sure I am more than capable of finding my room. I shall straighten myself up and be ready to join the party.
There is no rush, Detective. Dinner will not be served for some time, so please, make yourself comfortable. Once you have settled in, I am sure that Miss Angeline will be happy to see you. She has been eager for your arrival. You will be staying on the first floor. I believe your room is one of the two on the west side.
Merci. I am sure we shall speak again soon. Aha. Bonjour. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Detective Hercule Poirot.
Detective? I hope you're not here for me.
Not that I am aware of. Should I be?
Ha! Not often you meet a detective with a sense of humor. I'm Zakaria Demir, but you can call me Zach. If I had seen them, maybe I would have. It is meant to be their celebration, but they're always off, dealing with something or other.
Something or other?
Let's just say they like to keep their cards close to their chest. For such a well-known...
Would you care to elaborate on what Mademoiselle...
I'd rather not. You're the...
Très bien, Monsieur Demir.
You'll be lucky. I've been waiting for a refill for ages. I came out here to find...
Ah, I see. The preparations for this evening's dinner...
I've seen that butler running around like a madman, but there is still no party to speak of.
I shall take up no more of your time. À bientôt. Ah. Ah. Oh. Huh. Aha. Mm-hmm. Oh. Huh. Huh. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Aha. Huh. This will not get me any closer to... Come, my little grey cells. I cannot see the logic in this. Some would say a lucky guess. I would... Order and method. Is there something I have... I must act on thought and... I must take a different approach if I am... Things are beginning... I cannot see the logic in it. What a revelation! Come, my little grey cells. Another success. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Oh. Oh.
You must be Detective Poirot. Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself.
The fiancé to Mademoiselle Angeline.
Angeline spoke so highly of you. It sounds as though you are the...
I am, monsieur. You have...
She tries her best to keep everyone else happy, but I can see it is
Quite understandable. She is feeling the burden of the family that is not hers to carry.
Angeline has spoken with her mother. She has asked if there is anything that could be...
And what are your thoughts on them?
I do not want to overstep my position, but if there is something that could damage not only the Vandenbosch...
That is a very diplomatic answer.
You have met Madame. You know it is best to not get... Mostly friends of the family. A couple of business associates of mine.
With regards to the blackmailing, can they be trusted, or should...
Angeline is struggling to trust anyone right now. But Madame Vandenbosch, as it is her house, thought...
And they will all be staying in the house?
Yes, it is a rather full house. All 6 guests will be staying on the...
I will be sure to speak with them all. However, I will keep my identity and purpose for being here.
I'm afraid that ship may have already sailed. Once the Comtesse gets wind of something, a detective coming to that... You are very observant, detective. You would be wise to keep that person...
I'm sure you are correct. But I'd like to return...
He has been a good friend to Madame Vandenbosch over the years. But that does not make him a good man. Or suit...
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave you to prepare for tonight's celebration. Magnifique.
Detective, it looks as though I might be out here all the... I'm a guest. I shouldn't have...
Perhaps the party preparation is more of a priority.
It's not my fault they aren't ready. Why don't I wait here while you check in the butler's pantry?
I shall take up no more of your time.
Please, ask away. As far as I'm aware, everything is in order. From what I understand, the late Viscount had made some...
And regarding the payment of the black...
Angeline does not have to worry about money anymore. I was born into some wealth.
Merci, monsieur. I shall leave... must act on thought and... The pieces of the puzzle are fine. Mademoiselle Angeline, it is a pleasure to see...
Detective, how wonderful you are here.
Watching from my carriage window, I saw the beautiful countryside and rolling...
I'm truly thankful you could make it here at such...
No thanks are required, mademoiselle. When one is...
Gideon and I only wanted a small dinner to celebrate our engagement, but Maman was adamant on throwing this party. Their efforts do not go unnoticed, from me at least. They have been with us for so long. I do my... Only Maman, Elizabeth, my beloved Gideon, and you, of course.
And what is your fiancé's opinion of that?
He thinks me foolish for paying the first one if there is no secret to reveal.
But you believe there may be a secret lurking. One that Maman is her...
She tells me nothing, even though I'm a grown woman on the verge of
Perhaps it is out of love that she protects you. It is in every mother's...
Not a single person. I don't know anyone.
The guests that will be joining us tonight...
I hope so, Detective. Before the letter...
They are all close friends of yours,
Friends and colleagues. Gideon has spoken positively about them. It would be a... Oh, Detective, I'm a...
She was quite adamant at the police station that she would not be returning to the house, but I assumed she would at least collect her belongings.
Maman demanded that Elizabeth pack up everything she had. But I couldn't let that happen. Elizabeth and I took her belongings, what little there was of them, to a friend of hers in the town that... I wanted to contact her, but I had no address or telephone number.
Surely Madame must have had some information when she employed...
You saw how Maman was. As soon as Poirot was out of sight of the house, it was as though she had never been there at all.
And your mama's choice to ignore her accountability for the girl stopped you searching.
Please, Detective, you cannot make me feel any worse than I already do. If I could go back and live that day... Yes, Maman has quite a collection, although they are not all to my taste.
The painting of the saints, in particular, it is quite exquisite.
The one in the hall? If you look above your bedroom door, you will see one of their names. I believe they were...
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall find you if there is anything further I need. I should not be surprised by my own... Another success. Order and method. I must take a different approach. Some would say a lucky guess. Ah. Ah, Mademoiselle Elizabeth. What?
Detective Poirot, I'm so glad you could make it.
Unfortunately, it is not purely for pleasure that I am here. Mademoiselle...
Yes, Angeline has told me. I'm glad she called upon you, Detective. I've been rather worried.
I will do everything I can to find the blackmailer and...
I have every faith in you.
I hope I am not interrupting.
We're all very busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. After I'm done, I can come to your room and help you with any further questions. No one escorted you? I'm so sorry. Everyone is just so frantic at the moment. Madame has requested...
And you have been tasked with jobs in the pantry. Surely your talents could be used at...
I do as Madame asks. Well, as Archie asked.
Monsieur Sterling. Yes, I met him when I arrived. A charming gentleman. He did...
I can only apologise on his behalf. He would be mortified. I'm afraid I cannot be of much more help. But I believe you are located next to Mr. De Silva. By all means... Yes, I'm afraid it may be all for show, though. She has not been herself, and it is not only...
Madame Vandenbosch. Surely it must have...
Madame has carried on as though nothing has happened. She has never been one to show emotion, and she doesn't seem to notice how it has affected Angeline. The staff, on the other hand... Angeline means no harm, but...
I hope not too sharply. A house of two Madame Vandenbosch's...
Ah, yes. Guests are requested to sign the book when arriving. I believe it gives
It stated the male guests are to be staying...
Yes, Madame does not believe in male and female guests residing beside one another. Oh, yes. Well, I'm afraid it is far from a happy ending.
Oh, mademoiselle, I was not...
It's fine, Detective, honestly. I'm sorry, but I really must finish this.
Bien sûr, mademoiselle. Merci, madame.
Pleasure is mine, Detective. Before you leave, Detective, I have something for you beside the furnace here from Angeline. She wanted me to give it to you on your arrival.
Merci, mademoiselle. Ah. The pieces of the puzzle are finally come.
Of course, Detective. What is it? I would not say it in front of the Major, but it is rather hideous. It was a gift from him to Madame from his time overseas. I don't...
A pen that does not write is like a fish that cannot...
As Angeline describes it, a useless ornament.
Merci.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
Aha.
Detective, it looks as... Is that what he said?
I find his accent rather pleasant,
I guess. Not too helpful when it comes to finding your room, though.
I shall take up no more of your time.
What can I help you with, Detective? I was right to pay it, yes? You have read them.
You were wise to consult me, but bowing to their threat may have only shown that you are willing to pay for their silence.
I wish I could, but I have no idea. The letter was addressed to me, but I have nothing to hide. Maman took one look.
She looked at it.
She doesn't know I paid the first. I thought I could make it all go.
Did you ask Madame if there was a family secret they could be privy to?
She said I was to ignore the letters and stop wasting my time with such foolishness. If there... I couldn't ask Maman for the money. She was angry that I had even considered paying it.
Pardon, did he not think you foolish?
He did, but he said he couldn't stand by, and what...
How honorable.
We are soon to be married, Detective. A loving partnership that faces their trouble.
I did not mean anything by it, mademoiselle. You have found yourself a husband that will stand by your side and do what must be done to protect you.
As you would expect, she has been in quite a state. It was such a terrible accident.
Pardon, how could you not know? Surely his absence from the house...
Maman fired him after he returned to the house.
But Mademoiselle Elizabeth's position was...
I begged Maman, for them both. But she said if he was willing to go behind her back, what else?
Falling in love is a far cry from...
She has been a kind shoulder to lean on through all this mess, but it is her I worry about.
I was not aware of what had happened, and by mentioning, I fear I may have only made it...
Do not punish yourself, detective. You are not to know. I don't think you're...
Merci, mademoiselle. This will not get me any closer. What a revelation! Things are beginning to be... Is there something? I cannot see the logic in this. I must act on thought. Magnifique.
Please, ask away. Angeline has spoken of it. You made quite...
I feel responsible for what came from that day. Florette's...
It is not your fault. Madame van den Bosch does not like it when her rules or authority are undermined. I suppose you think I was unwise.
I am glad Mademoiselle requested my help before you fell further out of pocket.
Madame van den Bosch had no intentions of paying it. Whether she believed...
It was an honorable move for you to make the payment.
Angeline is to be my wife.
Merci, monsieur. Huh. Oh. Aha. order and method. This will not get me any closer. I must take a different approach. Another success. Come, my little grey cells. The pieces of the puzzle are... Oh. Oh. Huh. Ah. Mm-hmm. Aha. Ah. Elizabeth, thank you for coming. I shall not take...
Not at all, Detective. I had best not be away for too long. Madame would not be pleased when there is...
Well, mademoiselle, if anyone was to ask, I required your urgent attention with a delicate matter.
Thank you, Detective. I have heard whispers, but this town is full of busybodies. It's hard to know what is the truth and what is hot air from socialites trying to outdo one another.
I would not have thought you want to join in with such...
I'm not, but it can be hard to ignore. I try to quash any talk of it in the house. But it's easier said than done. When the staff are together, it seems to be a competition to...
You are a loyal maid and friend. Mademoiselle Angeline is...
It baffles me why they would target her in the first place. She has such a kind and pure soul.
I was wary of that when I arrived. But I myself can see a change in her, a maturity. And if it is a...
Letters, Detective. I brought you the other. I have tried to tell her not to think any more on them, but she fears that even a fabricated story could ruin the family name.
I have met Monsieur Demire, and I cannot see his love for Angeline diminishing at something so trivial. Merci.
Pleasure is mine, Detective.
Is there something... I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Is there something I am... I must take a different approach if I... Order and method. What a revelation!
Of course, Detective. What is... That That is news to me, Detective.
The deeds to the house that have been left on the table.
Oh no, Madame asked Archie to inquire in town about having the house registered as a landmark. It's a shame the snow is so thick. The gardens are quite... She will no doubt be with Master Gideon. The party was just beginning when I came upstairs.
That is my cue to make a grand entrance. Am I presentable enough for the creme?
Quite handsome, Detective.
Merci. If you catch me snoring, please.
I will use Madame's sharpest poker.
It sounds as though someone else may have already been poked.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you would be so...
With all this excitement...
I believe that is an end to the excitement.
Oh, thank God. One last match.
Bonjour, Monsieur Hagen.
I wondered when you would be arriving. At least now you can...
Pardon?
I have just been assaulted!
I'm afraid it is not as simple as that. I merely...
This is ridiculous. You know very...
perhaps you could elaborate on what...
I should have known you wouldn't make things...
I have met Monsieur Demire. He does not seem one to physically...
I hope you're not implying that I started...
I am only stating what I have seen.
I was having a private conversation with Angeline when he interrupted and struck me. That is... I would not act any other way. Well,
You have grown rather close with the Vanden.
what has my relationship with the family got to do with anything? Why are you even...
Detective. And I was invited by Mademoiselle Ange.
Seems to be mistake after mistake with that girl. Of course I do. What a stupid question. He is scum. Him and his whole family. If I had my way, he wouldn't have even... Officer Poirot, are you going to do something about him?
It is Detective Poirot. And if you refuse to answer my question...
I just don't know what she sees in him. Angeline, I don't think she realizes what she is getting herself into. I can't...
I see. Merci, monsieur, for your honest opinion. I shall leave you to your cigar and return to the... Huh. Monsieur Sterling, I trust the preparations are progressing since our last meet.
Please, Detective. Archibald is fine. Everything is...
You are head butler of this house. It is a position that warrants respect, and I must admit, it is the smell from the kitchen that has...
Rehana is quite the cook, but it will still be some time. Maybe you'd like to enjoy a drink while you wait? Some of the guests and the remaining guests are in the library on the first floor.
I will be sure to explore both.
Dinner will be served in the dining room, but the rest of the evening is yours to enjoy.
You have all certainly been working hard.
Very hard. The lady of the house wanted everything a certain... It is my responsibility to look after the house and staff.
I cannot imagine he will be in any mood to attend.
He often has a cigar to calm down. And if that doesn't relax...
Merci. You have been most... Oh. Ah.
I told you, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not a reporter.
But you're going to want to hear this. You could
And why would I want to spend my evening doing that?
The world needs to know. You want to sell papers, I want the truth to be known.
I came here to enjoy myself, not to hear...
I was there. I saw the whole thing, including...
All right, I'll bite. Let's talk later.
Aha. Huh. Aha. Bonjour. Are you a guest of Mademoiselle Angèle?
Do I know you?
Where are my manners? I am
The lawman.
Oui, monsieur. Detective Poirot.
Ernesto da Si.
A pleasure, monsieur.
I'm a man of business.
I see. Is there a...
Overseas investments, international relations.
Très bien. Monsieur has many talents.
We work together as partners.
You must know the Van den Bosch family well, then.
I helped Cassandra, rather, Madame Van den... I did. But frankly, I have no...
You are not aware of the circumstances that started...
I heard something about a cigar. Only Felix would be...
A cigar?
Yes, Monsieur Demire had one of Felix's precious cigars. Distinguished gentleman. It was two alpha males going head to head. Master Gideon came out the victor.
Surely we have passed the days where shows of unnecessary brute strength
When it comes to the protection of a woman, we are far from it.
Mademoiselle Angeline, the Major has no place to feel threatened.
And he has spent the last however many years supporting them.
Merci for your time. Ah. Huh. Oh. Oh. Huh. Oh. Huh. A pleasure to make you...
Likewise. You're not...
My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a friend of Mademoiselle
I see. Jacqueline Conrad.
I am rather embarrassed to say I...
No need for the madame. I'm not married. Just call me Jack.
Oui.
Seriously? You don't know who I am?
My sincerest apology.
And I thought you Europeans were meant to be cultured. Here's the thing. I'm one of those people you want to know, and not be on the wrong side of.
Perhaps it would be wise for me to remain on your good...
It's the best place to be. You wouldn't believe what a couple of positive stories can do for a family name.
And that is what you have done for the Van den Bosch?
A little help goes a long way, and from what I have seen, the ladies I heard, and it doesn't surprise me. There will always be someone trying to get something out of someone else.
That is a rather pessimistic way of...
But it's the truth. And in my experience, more often than not, it's someone the victim...
You make me question those I consider friends.
And maybe you should. If you have something you don't want the world knowing, just keep it to yourself. That's what we call eavesdrop.
Pardon. I did...
And with respect, I don't think it's...
I must take my leave. Allow me to introduce myself.
Hugo Beckers.
I hope I am not disturbing you. I often find myself...
I've never been referred to as a loose end before. but it is always good. There is no better way to understand one's purpose in life. I stand up for the workers that cannot do it themselves.
You work with a union?
Union leader, well, that is my formal title. But I see myself as more than just...
Very spirited. You have...
In my line of work, it is essential. Some fight with their fists, but I have been working with Gideon for quite some time. We are doing great things together.
I was not aware he was part of the union.
Well, he's not exactly. But he is an ally in the battle we face. Without his support, our uphill struggle would I don't know what you think you heard, but it was a private matter, and
I can assure you, Monsieur Beckers, your
Then maybe we should just leave it there.
Merci. Things are beginning. Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically. I must act on thought and... Some would say a lucky guess. I cannot see the logic in this. This will not get me any closer. I must take a different approach. Magnifique.
Back so soon? What?
I must take my...
Is there something else?
Merci for your... Ah. Aha. Huh. Monsieur Demir.
What did I tell you? Call me Zach.
I did, and a charming room.
I don't know if I would call mine charming, but that's okay. At least you actually care. Not like most of the others here.
Ah, oui. I see the resemblance now. How wonderful.
I'll stop you there. The only wonderful thing about...
You are not pleased for your brother.
Angeline seems nice enough, but marriage is not for me. What is that? Recently, not a great deal. Well, except for enjoying myself.
A noble occupation. Did you not want...
It wasn't my decision to make. I certainly don't. I'm sure he's fine. You don't need to worry about him. Always the knight in shine.
Saving the day from who?
Well, if Gedeon is the knight, Felix the Major. Just because he was a major. We all know how he got there. Gedeon said they were the majors, but I didn't think he would admit.
Ah, it was you that took...
Okay, detective, you twisted my arm. It was me. But I didn't even get a chance to smoke it.
Perhaps it is... Allow me to introduce myself. Hercule Poirot.
Detective Hercule Poirot? I heard we were...
Oui, madame. I see my name
Comtesse Margot de Vos. Charmed.
It is I who is charmed.
Handsome, well-mannered, and a man of the law. I did not expect such a fine
Comtesse, your compliments are enough to make a young...
I fill my time mostly with charity work. The number of those less...
How very admirable.
One must remain humble. I have been a close friend to the Vandenbosch family for, well, heaven knows how long.
You must have known the late Viscount, then.
Indeed, we had been friends since our school days. His passing was very hard on both Cassandra and young Angélique. You will find Felix at the center of any trouble.
I understand he has made himself quite at home here.
What an understatement. He thinks his friendship with Cassandra entitles him.
He does not approve of Monsieur Demy.
You'd have to ask him. Or rather, speak with Gideon's brother. He will have... A strapping young man. Angeline has found herself...
Speaking with them both, it is plain to see. even to one that is unexperienced in such emotions.
When they are together, it is obvious for all to see, even at such a young... He would say that. I mean, financially, yes.
I cannot imagine Madame Vandenbosch would be one to request financial...
After Edwin, the Viscount, died, the family was left in a rather unfavorable...
I see.
Let's just keep that between us. It's a rather work with? I built it.
My admiration continues to...
While my husband, the Honorable Count de Vos, is always busy with his duties. And one day, while shopping in the city, I noticed the abundance of young women living and begging on the street.
It is horrifying to think of how so many must live their lives while...
I hope that was not a backhanded comment on the life I live.
Far from it, Countess. You are using your wealth to better the lives of the less fortunate.
It is, isn't it?
It has been a pleasure.
Fire away. The major pain in the ass. Why should I? It doesn't take a bit.
I have my own history with the Major, but...
I think it's a story best told now.
You fought together in the war?
We were on opposing sides.
The subject of war is a difficult topic for everyone.
If you had seen what I have, what he has done...
I am taking no sides, monsieur. It is just not conversation. Perhaps it... I must act on What a revelation! Come, my little Graycel. Is there something I... Order and method. That... I should not be surprised by my own skills. The pieces of the puzzle are fun. I cannot see the logic in this. not get me any close. I must act on... Magnifique.
Fire away, detective. I have a drink, but
I just would not like to see things...
don't you worry about me.
Perhaps...
I am all yours, detective. You are quite inquisitive.
I believe it is called...
There is small talk, and there is prying.
I assure you that is not my intention.
Monsieur, please. I know a nosy gossip hound when I see one. We can smell our own.
You are not a fan of his.
I'd hit him with my fan, monsieur. Any man that can
And what position is that, may I ask?
lording over Cassandra like she's the help. He shouts at her like she's a stray cat that...
It has been a pleasure. Madame Vandenbosch, congratulations are in...
Thank you. And you are?
Detective Poirot.
I'm sorry, the name
Once Officer Poirot. I investigate...
Oh, it's you. There is no missing jewelry.
I am here on a rather more pressing...
I know why you are here, officer. Detective.
Detective. And I promise not to keep...
Angeline is her own woman now. She can fight her own battles.
And what battles would...
Nothing that concerns you, detective. Keep your volume down. She had no right to do such a thing.
Perhaps you should be more focused on catching the blackmailer that is holding your family's name to ransom than what the chattering...
I care more about what those chattering women, as you so rudely describe...
Your daughter does not agree. In fact, it has been suggested that one of tonight's guests...
The guests? You mean our friends? You can't honestly believe one of them would be so petty to send a... I suppose it is only polite to say you're...
Madame is as quick-witted as I...
What a shame. There is nothing as memorable about you, but... You can make whatever assumption...
Based on several accounts, it seems as though the Major has a certain level of disdain.
Felix is merely protecting both my daughter and the Van den Bosch name.
Protecting them from what?
That is a question best asked to... Gideon is a fine, educated young man.
All important when considering an...
A good home and education speaks volumes about a man. Even in the short time they have been engaged, his noble character...
I can assure you, madame, my education is not one to be sneered.
And yet you remain a mere detective. Locked? That is absurd. They should be constantly coming back and forth from there if they are hiding from their work again. What is it you want?
I only mention it as I was hoping to speak to some staff members. But if they are busy...
Be a good fellow and make sure they aren't slacking off in there. It shan't take you long. What do you mean, protecting?
It was Monsieur Demire that accepted the cost. He paid it because you're...
For heaven's sake! Why do you think it was addressed to her and not I in the first place? Because...
Madame, if there is something you are keeping, it would be wise to tell me now. It may help in
And it would be wise for you to stay out of my family's business. If...
Merci. This will not get me any closer. Order and method. Some would say a lucky guess. I cannot see the logic in it. Is there something? I must take a different approach if I... Things are beginning to become...
Van den Bosch residence, how may I help you? Yes, yes, of course. Sir? Yes, a call for you. Shall I? Very good, sir. What can I do for you? Yes, he has been here for some time now. Lady Van den Bosch has...
Would you say he has become part of the family?
He's always been very vocal about how he stands the ladies.
Merci. You have... Another success. The pieces of the puzzle are finally come. magnifique. Aha. Ah. Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Oh, monsieur, you startled me.
It was not my intention, mademoiselle. I was
You are the detective?
I am Detective Hercule Poirot.
Madame Van der Bosch will be very hungry. If she knows I'm...
Allow me to worry.
Inga Frank, detective.
From the Norse god of peace and fertility.
Merci. It was my grand-mère. Oui, detective. Madame was very clear on what...
Well, everything looks exquisite. But if I may be blunt, would you...
Monsieur Archie knows how busy we are, especially in the kitchen.
Merci. What a revelation! Come, my little Grace. Order and method. Things are beginning to become... I should not be surprised by my...
Oui, detective. That is not for me to talk about, detective. If Monsieur Archie found out...
I am not asking you to betray your fellow staff or the family. What is said between us?
It's only whispers, but the last servant was caught. Apparently, they saw some...
My lips are sealed. Merci. Another success.
What can I do for you? What have they done? If I have...
No, monsieur. There is not a complaint to be made.
We've had to let some of them go. Let's just say they are
Merci. Is there something I have... I must act on thought. This will not get me any... Come, my little grey cells. I must take a different approach if I am to uncover... Some would say a lucky guess.
Let's make this quick. The public rooms are not adequate space.
Madame, I asked only the limits, as I understand.
It would benefit you not to listen to whispers and rumors, officer.
It is detective, madame. And it is just that determination...
Need I remind you again? Why would I? He is to be Angeline's new husband and my new son-in-law. If he...
And to you that means paying ransom money?
It means doing what he... I see you have...
I see no reason.
Until...
And until that... Merci. What a revel...
Is there something... It seems someone has been...
Only polite curiosity.
Well, you would be right.
Grief, monsieur.
Let's just say we didn't always see eye to eye. And if neither...
Merci for your time.
What can I do for you? Ah, perfect timing. I was about...
Très bien.
Yes, Maman. Perhaps Turkey. I would love to see my beloved's homeland.
I'm sure we will decide on somewhere. Perhaps where we are both yet to have visited.
It was my crowning achievement.
I am not so sure you workers would agree.
Are you sure? I've definitely seen your face somewhere before.
I do not believe there is another that resembles these features, or brains, at least.
I've always liked the idea of sailing the West Indies.
In that heat? With your complexion?
Okay, but you lived in the capital at one time.
Oui, mademoiselle. I spent much of my working life there.
Maybe sleeping off half a bottle of whiskey.
Let us not be so blasé with our opinions, brother.
If you ask me.
I don't believe anyone did.
You're that officer! The shootout on the rooftop! Your face was all over our front page!
It seems it is not only I that possesses great skills of deduction. You...
Please, come quick! The Major has been murdered in his study!
Messieurs et Mesdames, I am Detective Hercule Poirot of the Belgian police force. I ask that you all remain calm and in your seats. I shall begin my investigation immediately. Monsieur Sterling, please, lead the way.
This is Mr. Hagen's study, Detective. Would you like me to stay?
I understand if you are not comfortable with such a scene.
Don't you worry, Detective. I've seen much worse in my year.
I am thankful to have someone of your resilience, but...
I just can't believe someone could have killed him in cold blood. Is that what you think happened?
I admire your faith in your fellow man, but you will be surprised what someone will do when they feel there is no...
Mr. Hagen does not allow any staff into the study, and they were all present in the staff quarters, or part of the dinner service.
And everyone was accounted for?
Everyone. It is my business to know all my staff's whereabouts. Phone call? Yeah. It was one of his business associates.
Do you know what associate?
He didn't say. I think he was French. The accent still confuses me sometimes.
And did the Major sound any different to you? Panicked, anxious, anything out of the ordinary?
Not that I noticed. I think he was embarrassed about ending up on the floor after Master Gideon's one punch. I would be.
Your help and discretion. Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Aha. Things are beginning to become... I cannot see the logic in this. Is there something I am not seeing? I must act on... I cannot see the logic in this. Magnifique. Another success. Order and method. That is the... I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction. Oh. I must take a different approach if I... The pieces of the puzzle are finally...
Anything I can do to... Rihanna brought him some ice for his cheek earlier.
And when was that?
When he returned from his cigar outside, he asked for something to be... He would normally smoke only in here. Lady Van den Bosch doesn't like the smell of his...
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated. Huh. Aha. Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Ah. Huh. Come, my little Grace. Some would say a lucky guess. This will not get me any... This will not get me any close... Another success. I must take a different approach. Order and method. That... Some would say a lucky guess. I cannot see the logic in... Come, my little grey cells. Is there something I... What a revelation! I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Anything I can do to help? As I said, Mr. Hagen did not allow the staff.
Have the staff ever given him reason to not...
Nothing has ever been brought to my attention, but he was very...
I suppose it is not unreasonable. I would have thought with his military past he would have kept it immaculate, with not a speck of dust or hair out of place.
I haven't seen it lit since he has been with us, even in the colder months.
Your help and discretion in this matter are greatly appreciated. The pieces of the puzzle are finally coming together. Things are beginning to become clearer. Magnifique. I must act on... This will not get me any closer to my goal. Order and method. That... Another success.
Anything I can do to... As you wish.
Aha. Huh. Mm-hmm. Ah. Huh. Oh. I must take a different approach. Is there something? I must act on... What a I cannot see the logic in this. Come, my little grey sap. This will not get me any closer. Magnifique. Things are beginning to become...
Certainly. The male guests, I believe, he knows in a business capacity, but I'm afraid that's all I know.
You are talking from personal experience of...
I am head butler to the Van den Bosch family in their home. There's not much I couldn't tell you. As soon as he found out my father...
I am sure an officer of his rank must have many a tale.
A tale is a fitting description. Not so much a pinch of... You've lost me.
I struggle to believe they were both helping her out of the kindness of their hearts. Could they...
Ah, that didn't take...
Your help and discretion. The pieces of the puzzle of... Some would say a lucky guess. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Certainly. What do you need? As you wish, Detective. The guests are waiting for you, Detective. I informed them of what has happened, but
I am most grateful. Madame Van...
She's in her room with Miss Angeline. It may be better to speak...
Oui, merci. I shall come find you again once my questioning is... I'm afraid our conversation is of a more formal nature this time.
So the Major was murdered?
It appears so.
You can't think that I did it, though.
I will be questioning everyone over the course of the evening, and
I was here in the salon, minding my own business,
Minding your business from whom?
Comtesse, what's her name, and my brother. Apart from wanting to
Comtesse de Vos? And
If she had taken a moment to notice anything besides herself, she will tell you.
I think that is all for now. Bonsoir, Monsieur Beckers. Merci.
Monsieur Poirot, or should it be
Detective Poirot is perfect. Merci.
Go right ahead, Detective Poirot. I took great pleasure in seeing the Major's ego as well as his face take a bruising.
Well, you spoke with Mademoiselle Conrad.
And yourself?
We were the only two that you spoke with.
One of the servants brought me a drink and I was telling her about the benefits of joining a union. She didn't understand what it truly meant to be a part of...
Monsieur.
Oh, yes, it was just the two of you. And the...
And you are sure there was no one else present?
I'm not sure what you're getting at, Detective.
Merci, Monsieur Becker. Monsieur de Silva. Merci.
A detective comes to a party and a dead body shows up.
A man's death is not a matter to joke.
Who said anything about a joke?
Then perhaps you can tell me what it was you saw.
Following whatever that was in the hall.
Is there anyone that can confirm?
Miss Conrad and Beckers were in there, arguing about something.
You did not speak with them until dinner was served?
I had no reason to get involved with their little spat. It was clear...
Merci for your... Monsieur Demir, I am sorry your celebrations have taken it.
As am I, Detective. I hope we will be able to bring this
With your cooperation, I will...
I was here in the salon. I thought I would have a moment of peace to calm myself. But the Comtesse and my...
Did they inquire into the reasons behind the fight?
I think they both saw it as some light entertainment, more.
The Comtesse does not strike me as one to enjoy,
And not so much violence, but karma for the Major, perhaps. You did not hear how he spoke to my wife.
If you would be so kind... Comtesse, I am sorry our next conversation...
It is not the first time Felix has ruined.
The current state of tonight's celebrations is the least of my
Well, it's at the top of mine, Detective. I did...
Perhaps then we should proceed with my questions and you can...
It would be my pleasure. I did. I thought by staying in one place, it would be easy for the staff to bring me my drinks.
And who else was present?
The handsome groom-to-be and his brother. Although, Zachariah, is it?
Did he say where he was?
He barely said 2 words to either of us. I think he was...
Merci, Comtesse. If I have any further questions... Mademoiselle Conrad, I am sure you understand the...
I knew I had seen your face before. You were just an officer when that story hit the...
You have a très bon memory, mademoiselle. That...
You can't escape the past, especially when you go and do something like that.
That is very true, but one can learn from it and create a better future.
What would you say to an
Please, mademoiselle. Catching the Major's killer is my sole... Now, if you would be so kind, I
arrived, unpacked my bags in my room, and made it downstairs just in time to see the Major take a right hook from Gideon. And then I went to check out the library.
And you were joined by Monsieur...
And Ernesto, or Monsieur Silver, as you say. But after he ignored my attempt at pleasantries, I left him to his book
And your conversation with Monsieur Beckers...
You are a persistent one, aren't you? Makes sense now I know who you really are. You'll just have to wait and read...
You have been
I'm an open...
I think... Some would say a lucky guess. I must take a different approach. Come, my little Grace. Is there something? I cannot see the logic in it. The pieces of the puzzle. Order and method. That is the way. I must act on thought. Come, my little Grey cells. I should not be surprised. Things are beginning to... I cannot see the logic in this. I must take a different approach. This will not get me any... Another success. Order and method. That is the... Is there something... I must act on thought. Magnifique.
I'm an open book. I told you already. I was here in the salon.
And you did not leave even once.
Well, I had to use the bathroom.
You may keep your calls of nature to yourself, master.
If you don't believe me, ask Archibald.
I think that it...
Whatever you require, Detective. I know you are probably used to dealing with criminals, but not everyone is trying to...
I hope for your sake that you do not hide anything from me.
What is it you think I'm hiding?
I struggle to believe you did not know of Monsieur da Silva's presence in the library.
Is that what this is about? I saw him hiding in the corner, pretending to read. I'd be surprised...
Monsieur Demire invited you here to speak with him. You didn't see that?
I was speaking with Jacqueline, and quite frankly, I was in no mood.
Merci. Can you confirm seeing Monsieur Demire in the hall this evening?
Zachariah, yes. I was on my way with a bottle of whiskey to the Major. He shouted rather.
I presume you showed him the way?
Aye, Detective. I showed him to the hall bathroom. I didn't think...
What a revelation! What a revelation! Things are beginning to... I should not be surprised by my own skills of
Is that the end of your intelligence?
There are still some questions that...
I'm an open... Why would I? I've got nothing to say to him.
What is yours that he could want?
Money, of course. Why do you think he has been suckling at the Van den Bosch tea?
Our?
My father's, Gideon's, it's all the same. When you have not been on level playing fields for years, it's hard.
I am afraid I do not quite understand.
If we're playing golf, he has a full set of clubs and a caddy in the form of my father, and I have the old split putter. Make sense now?
Perfectly. I think that is all.
Whatever you require. I know that I don't think, or didn't think, a great deal of him. I'm just sorry I did...
The man has recently been...
Someone must stand up to men like him, with their crooked dealings.
Another rousing speech.
It's the truth. If you knew what I know, maybe... Yes, Gideon invited me. If you will recall from our previous conversation, we have been working together.
To discuss business at the...
We're all here, so what better time? He thought Da Silva might even let his guard down if he was in a more
And what business was it that was so...
We're trying to resolve the worker strikes. It has gone on long enough. Now is the time for him to listen to our demands. So... Anger, yes, but that's all. I wouldn't kill a man.
You must see why this leads me to...
You can't honestly think I did it. I am a man of peace. I make changes with work. I am fighting for the basic rights of our workers. Nothing more. If he can't see...
And where does Monsieur Gédéon fit into the negotiation?
His brother? I didn't even know he had a brother until I arrived here. Gédéon certainly... Last I saw, he was outside having a cigar.
Oui, I spoke with him myself. But that was some time ago.
He does love a cigar. You'd have to stand out in those conditions. I could...
Merci.
More questions? Felix, I didn't know him that well. We spoke a handful of times.
But you remained polite.
Of course. What is there to say? She's a remarkable woman.
It sounds as though you hold her in the...
And why shouldn't I? Women these days... He had approached me about doing some business together.
And you both went ahead with your business venture?
Not so much a business venture. More security related.
Is there something you wish to remain hidden about your partnership?
It was far from a partnership. I hired him to run security at my factories. That is correct.
And the reason for your support was always of a...
If you're trying to insinuate that I was expecting something in return...
I meant no offense. I'm only trying to understand the dynamic of it. Merci for your call.
No trouble at all. How can I help? I knew of him more than actually knowing him myself. In the past.
And that was not in a positive way.
I certainly wouldn't call trying to get Angeline to postpone the engagement. What do you mean?
I do not mean to pry. Only I imagine the whole room what...
You must be mistaken. Neither my brother... We aren't the closest. But what brothers are?
I would argue that many are...
We've lived very different lives. Our priority... I have lent my voice to some discussions. I have tried to facilitate meetings. Just positive.
Does that positive support include sending letter?
Detective Poirot, I'm not sure what you
Monsieur, a letter has been found threatening the Major of what might happen if he does...
You think my sending him a...
At this time, it...
I have been funding... The Major didn't...
If you would be...
I am all yours, detective. Why would I actively choose to speak to that...
You were quite adamant of your protection of Madame. If he was as awful as you...
He was quite aware of how I felt towards him, and the length...
I must...
What? I imagine she would have shed a tear for him, but she...
You don't think she would? Or you don't want...
I have made it quite clear what I think of that man, alive or dead. What of it?
Do you believe there was something more?
As I have said, detective...
I would not even consider your name and that word...
Because it is not gossip... Why else do you think he would stay around for so long? Yes, he was a friend and partner to the Viscount. He was a disgusting leech that was driven only by money.
I can assure you not all men are concerned with such egotistic...
That may be, but they are few and far between.
It is not the first time I have been described in such a way.
Embrace the compliment, detective. You have set yourself apart from the horrid...
And that is what the Major was doing? Using Madame Van den Bosch at...
You are finally seeing the man he was. A weak and
Merci.
You came to the right place. I know that he was not the good and honest man he liked to think he was.
In what sense?
If you spoke to him for longer than 5 minutes, you'd know. I've met people in dark alleys I trust before.
And on the occasions when you did speak with him...
I'm sorry, Poirot. If you're looking for a deep-seated secret between me and him, you're going to... That man has got some real anger issues. I get why he's frustrated. He's trying his best for the workers, but holding up... If you think you can use me as some sort of gossip machine, you are
I can assure you it is not a case of gossiping. At this point, everything...
So I would be helping you potentially solve a crime? You should have said that off the bat. To say he's smitten is an understatement. I reckon he's been wanting her.
I see. Madame,
Doesn't look like it. If she did, she would have said something. I don't know if you really would. She's got a mouth the size of Texas, except when it comes to truths about her. She wants everyone to think that she's the savior of these girls at the shelter. But there's...
And what side is that?
One that she is keeping tucked away under her
You have been...
I'm an open book. That doesn't surprise me, and yet no one...
I am asking now.
I should have expected that, shouldn't I?
I would find it very helpful if you could at least...
He went to school, got an education, and was the apple of our father... If you want to know about Gideon's part in the Union, why don't you ask him?
So, you are aware of his...
Yes.
Oui, monsieur?
It'd be best to just ask him.
I think that...
I am all yours.
Countess, you gave me the impression the Major and the Madame were close. But there were times where he acted...
I am sorry, detective, but I didn't... Ever the charmer, detective. I would talk more on it, but I'm afraid Cassandra would think I... It is not often I am swayed so easily. I applaud. From day one, I was wary of his intentions. And it was not... If it is a tear she sheds, it should be one of joy.
I understand your feelings towards the Major, but perhaps...
He was a bully. He took his shortcomings out on her, and she sat there and... Perhaps now she will be able to see the man he truly was.
Merci, Countess.
No trouble at all. I believe there are more important matters at hand than talking about my brother and I's relationship.
The murderer is in this house, and by holding back information that may help my investigation, you are... Monsieur Demire, if you continue to withhold information, I can only assume you are hiding something, and must...
I have nothing to hide. If you must know, we have not been on the best terms for years now. He does not see the importance of planning for the future. And as much as my parents tried, they could not make...
He still believes that now?
I assume so. We barely talk anymore. I was hoping we would be able to sit down.
If you would be so kind... The pieces of the puzzle are fun. Is there something I am not? Magnifique. I cannot see the logic in this. Order and method. This will not get me any Some would say a lucky guess. I must act on thought. I must take a different approach. Come, my little grey cells. This will not get me any Another success.
More questions?
Mademoiselle Conrad was quick to talk of your hidden feelings towards her.
What has this got to do with the Major's death? This Cassandra... There may be some feelings there, but Madame Van den Bosch...
Merci. My time with the guests is complete.
Do you know who killed?
I am afraid it is not as simple as that. There are many steps that... things are beginning. The pieces of the puzzle of order and method. That is there something I am not? Some would say a lucky. I must take a different approach if I must act on thought and I cannot see the logic in this. Come, my little grey cells. What a revelation! Magnifique. Entrez.
Detective, I'm sorry I did not join you in the...
Please, mademoiselle. There is no need.
I was with Maman in her room. She would not allow anyone to see it, but I could... Do you have any suspicions as to who...
I'm afraid my suspicions extended across... While it seems as though their alibis all corroborate one another's...
I know there was some bad blood between the Major and some of the guests, but not enough to kill him, surely. She may seem tough on the...
The Countess? She is a formidable force, I wouldn't...
Don't be silly, Detective. She wouldn't hurt a soul. I assume that's who you were talking about, Detective, after what happened between them.
That is a story I have yet...
She must have told you about the piece she was writing on us, about Gideon's...
Somehow, that was the only thing she did not...
That's strange. I thought that is what she would have started the conversation with. Well, she had come to the house to interview me.
Do you know what this conversation...
I'm afraid not, but Felix was quite enraged. He picked up an envelope from the table.
And Mademoiselle Conrad?
She was equally heated in the moment. She had a few choice words for him that I would... I'm sorry, but I just can't imagine any of them committing such a heinous...
It can often be hard to look past one's person.
It's not that, Detective. It's just they have known each other for years.
I was under the impression the Major had merely a business relationship.
That's true. But those invited know each other. Some of them for years. Better, thank you, Detective. She's resting in her room.
And you, mademoiselle?
I'm not quite sure. It is rather...
It is understandable. He has been a close friend to you.
And to me, Detective. We had grown close. After father's passing, he was always there.
You must try and not think.
It is easier said than...
I have no doubt, but you can be assured. The culprit...
I should return to my room now, Detective.
Oui, mademoiselle. I am afraid tomorrow may bear a resemblance.
I am certainly glad you are here.
When and where a detective is required, that... I must take a different approach. This will not get me any closer to... Is there something I am... Order and method. That... I should not be surprised. Another success. I should not be surprised by my own skills of What a revelation!